Hi everyone, this is Erin. I will be presenting your body composition lecture today. Maybe have your slides out in front of you so you can fill in the blanks as I go through the slides. Okay, so body composition is the relative proportion of fat and fat-free tissue in the body. A healthy amount of body fat in males is about 10 to 22%, and a healthy amount of body fat in females is about 20 to 32%. Below these averages isn't really ideal, and body fat percentages above these averages classify a person as overweight and sometimes even obese. Obesity increases the risk of chronic diseases including diabetes, hypertension, cancer, coronary heart disease, and hyperlipidemia. In the US, about 2/3 of adults are classified as overweight, where their BMI is greater than 25, and about 32% of American adults are classified as obese, where their BMI is greater than 30. Between 1980 and 2004, adult obesity in the US increased more than twofold, or more than doubled, and it has not shown signs of slowing down. This does not even include the growing number of obese children. So why do we assess body composition? Its purpose is to create a target desirable goal weight for an individual, and each individual should have slightly different body composition goals to maintain a healthy weight. Then how do we assess body composition? There are a bunch of different ways to assess body composition. There are field techniques that are more publicly used, and there are lab techniques that are less readily available to the general population. The universal way to assess an individual's body composition is through BMI. BMI stands for Body Mass Index, and it is the weight-to-height ratio for an individual in the general population. This method does not work well for individuals with a significant amount of fat-free mass like muscle. For example, like shown in the picture here on the right, both men weigh 250 pounds and are 6 feet tall, so they both would have a BMI of 33.9. However, obviously the man on the left is mostly muscle mass, and the man on the right is mostly fat mass. Therefore, BMI is a poor predictor of body composition for a person outside of the general population because it doesn't differentiate between fat-free mass and fat mass. Circumference measurements are useful to determine how body fat is distributed. Waist to hip ratio can be used as a predictor for chronic disease risk like coronary heart disease and diabetes. Excessive body fat in the abdomen raises disease risk. There are two kinds of fat, visceral and subcutaneous. Subcutaneous fat is the fat right under the skin that you can kind of jiggle when you pinch your skin. And visceral fat is the fat that surrounds the organs and is more serious in increasing the risk of chronic diseases. It is the fat you see more pronounced on men with, quote, beer bellies that stick out but are hard to the touch. More anthropometric data includes height, weight, BMI, waist-to-hip ratios, and body composition. Height is more important to measure in children because that is when you are growing the fastest. Weight should be measured 2 hours after food and liquid intake. The ideal body weight is 100 pounds for the first 5 feet in women and 5 pounds for every inch after. And then in men, 106 pounds for the first 5 feet and then 6 pounds for every inch after. BMI, 20 to 25 is a healthy range. And the BMI calculation is weight in kilograms over height in meters squared. Waist to hip ratio indicates health risk. Ratio of greater than 0.86 in women and 0.95 in men indicates a very high health risk. And then body composition helps indicate the risk of cardiovascular disease. Field techniques of body composition require less equipment but have a lower accuracy. Some methods include skin fold assessments, height and weight comparisons, BMI, circumference measurements, and bioelectrical impedance analysis. The BIA is a handheld device that sends an electrical signal from one hand through the top of your body to the other hand. It measures the speed and time it takes to get from one hand to the other and predicts your body fat percentage. Less fat mass will make the electrical signal travel quicker, and more fat mass will slow the speed of the electrical impulse. This method is not very accurate because it does not really take into account the bottom half of your body. Okay, so Skinfold is the most popular body composition assessment, I think, and although it can be very accurate, it has lots of room for human error. This method measures subcutaneous fat. Remember the fat that is right below the skin. There are 7 sites on the body that are measured. Then all of the measurements are plugged into an equation to predict a person's body fat percentage. Again, this can be relatively active when done correctly, but it is not an absolute measurement. Skinfold measurements require little equipment, and Skinfold calipers are fairly cheap. Laboratory techniques are more accurate but not as available and are usually more expensive than field techniques. Some methods include hydrostatic weighing, BOD-POD, and DEXA. The picture here is of a BOD-POD where you are enclosed in this little egg-shaped thing, and it measures the air displaced to predict body fat. The picture on the left is hydrostatic weighing. It measures an individual's body density underwater. To me, this is the hardest for a participant to adhere to because you have to completely exhale, then hold your breath underwater for 10-ish seconds, and you're in a huge water tank, and it's just kind of uncomfortable. If you're planning to take KIN 301 exercise physiology, you will have to do this. On the right is a DEXA x-ray scan. This is maybe the easiest for a participant to do because they just need to lay flat on a DEXA scan platform, and after a click of a few buttons, it can predict your body fat percentage. Hydrostatic weighing is considered the gold standard for body composition. Many field technique measurements are developed using hydrostatic weighing. The BOD-POD, the big egg-shaped one, is becoming more widely used in health clubs because it is accurate and user-friendly. So body composition norms, like I stated earlier in the slides, for women, a body fat range of 20 to 32% is considered satisfactory for health, and no less than 10 to 13% body fat is recommended for females. For men, a body fat range of 10 to 22% is considered satisfactory for health, but no less than 3% body fat is recommended for males. And that is it. Thank you.